Well, I just got up to check and see about the deer that were here. It was very interesting. I'm upstairs, and I don't usually come upstairs to watch the deer. I usually watch them from downstairs, just inside the window. But I looked out the window and I could recognize from the top that it was Corona Bib, the one that's pregnant. I think she was the very first one that came to the compost pile. Anyway, so I could recognize her, and then a little while later I looked out the window again, and they were coming up the hill where these two other deer, these are under bite. Her bottom jaw is shorter than her top jaw. Underbite, and I think that might be her young, is Wolf. Wolf is the one on the far side of her. And then there's another one here which also looks like Wolf. If I can show you, I don't know if you can see over there or not. Anyway, but I think that's her other baby. I think that's why these two young ones always hang out with Underbite. But they also hang out with Dot, so, you know, that's the lilac bush they've been working on. Oh, so now what's happening? That's Underbite. And what's happening over here? Yeah, those are the two young ones. Both of them look like Wolf. One Wolf, true Wolf, has lots of fur coming out of his ears. The other one has some coming out, but not quite the same. But the shape of their faces, oh, she's looking up here now. The shape of their faces is rather similar. You know, it'd be interesting to take a side view and see how, you probably can't see it with this camera, but her face is kind of wide and roundish if you were to put a muzzle on her all the way around. Her face is kind of round, which I think is the same for Wolf and the other one. I don't know what his name is. Wolf's brother, Wolf's sister. What if they're not both does? How old are they when the buck starts hanging out with the other bucks? How old are they when they start doing that? She's looking up here again. I think she feels pretty safe looking at me from down there. There goes that vehicle on the highway. She had ice on her tail, and Wolf was pulling the ice off and eating it. She's leaving. What about her baby? No, she's not leaving. She's just going around behind the hammock. They have all these pathways. You saw the video I just showed about all the pathways that the deer have? There's a path in front of this hammock that goes behind that one. And then it comes around over here and then up here to the feeding area. But see now where she's going now. She's going down. Seems like there's two paths that go down the hill. She just went down right there, but there's also another place right there. But that's a very, I wouldn't say unstable, but it probably is. This hill is made of sand, so the trees hold it in place. There she is down at the bottom now. Can you see her? She's going out into the end of Dead Man's Run, the valley right here between the two hills. As Dead Man's Run. Because if you take your sled and go sledding down that hill, you break your hip, you break your leg. But we have done it. Naturally, when the kids were little. Too bad they didn't make movies back then. But I remember Daniel, and they used to do it. Daniel, for sure. They would do it a lot. But there's two big drops. But if you've got a lot of snow, it doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, it's pretty dangerous going down there. We had to cut the tree down at the very end. We wouldn't ram into it. They don't mind that Mama's gone. It's pretty interesting, the dynamics of these guys. You know, how they relate to each other. How they will arrive together. But usually, when one is done eating, they will just move over to the edge of the hill and stand guard. They just do that. There's usually one standing guard while the rest are eating. It's very seldom that they're all eating. And so if one is bumped out of place or kicked, you know, not kicked like you would think of kicking, but they lift their leg and they bring it down on somebody, on their butt or their side or their shoulder, anywhere really. And they will oust one so that they can get in and have the food where they are. I didn't think that it was the mother that did that to the young, but underbite is very much like that. She'll do that a lot. Mostly you see her doing it to, well, you see them doing it to the young ones, the yearlings, and you also see them doing it to the other big ones. Very interesting social dynamics. But do they do that to their own young? I didn't think they did. I thought they sort of protected their young. But anyway, when they do that, and they come down on the other deer, you see it messes up their fur a bit. So you can see when one arrives, if they've got lots of places on their fur where it's messed up, like she does. Oh, go ahead, have my lilac. Oh, she's interested in the cedar. Look at that, she got some too. I know you can't see very well with this camera. Josh is sending me his amazing camera. So, the faces of these guys have the same shape. Wolf has a round face. Let's see how high you can get. Both of these seem to have the same shape of face. And they both have excess hair, fur in their ears. Wolf has tons, and this other one doesn't have as much. They're busy denuding that. It's interesting when you can see the edge of the slope from the sun shining on it. It's pretty hard to see, but see that light spot right there? I think that's the edge of the hill, and that's the edge of the hill. So the hill goes up. Now, do they smell each other's tracks and keep up with each other? No, they seem to be together most of the time, these several. They find each other by their scent. So it's the 3rd of March. March comes in like a lamb and goes out in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. We're having a frostbite warning this week. We usually have a huge storm in March. So it's now, let's see the time, it's 10 till 8. Look at how many, I don't know if you can see it, but messed up spaces on its side. Oh, here comes Wolf. Oh wait, your mom went the other way. Goes to the top of Deadman's Run. But then they just cross it, I think, and go up the side of that hill. Yep. Oh, she just took it all in 3 or 4 leaps. There they go. Right up where that sparkle is. That's where they went. So from there they get a good vantage point where they can see if I feed them. Oh, and there's the one down there. That's their mama. Underbite. So they've gone up there. You know, I wonder, I think they go in a circuit. I don't think that they linger, unless right now they might be waiting for me to fill the feeders. I don't think they just hang out and wait. I think they have a definite circuit that they go in. Go from feeder to feeder, or, good spot to good spot. Their pathways are very well traveled. They go across by the pond, and they cross the road, and they go back in through the woods there and up to the neighbor's house. Cheryl. We'll call it Cheryl's house because they at least know who I'm talking about. Bill's house is right across the road, and Cheryl's house is down across there. You just see her butt right there. See the hammock? And then there's a few trees. She's just behind those few trees right there, and her really hard to see. You may wonder why I try and show you these very obscure things. I may wonder myself. It's interesting when they go that way, how did they leave? I think, see, this is a higher area right here, and this is another lower area. And over here is a still lower area. This is where the bathtub is. That's my spot.